Good morning. I'm Charles Osgood, and this is Sunday Morning. In times like these, it's no surprise that so many folks turn to comedy for relief. What does come as a surprise, though, is just how big a business the business of comedy has become. Comedy Incorporated. With so many media outlets these days, people in the comedy game are learning that a chuckle here and a guffaw there can add up to serious money. Serena Altshuler will be reporting our Sunday morning cover story.
There are big bucks and belly laughs. Billions, to be exact. The business of discovering and developing new comic talent is anything but a laughing matter.
If it's working, you don't see the seams. You know, if you've seen a stand-up comedian bomb, there's no worse feeling in the world.
Later on Sunday morning, the serious business of being funny.
It's time to start thinking about Thanksgiving dinner. In fact, certain food professionals have been thinking about it for months. This morning, Martha Teichner pays the experts a visit and finds that they're all talking turkey.
So the turkey has to have big thighs?
Yes.
A bust?
It has to be really broad-breasted, sassy.
There's a good chance you've never thought of your Thanksgiving turkey in quite that way. But believe me, Ruth Reichel, editor of Gourmet Magazine, does, which is why we found ourselves tasting this year's Thanksgiving dinner last year at this time. Later this Sunday morning, the time of year when a turkey becomes a show horse.
Eric Clapton has been a workhorse on the rock music circuit for decades now, and his creativity and talent are still going strong. For his latest venture, Clapton has a partner with spectacular abilities of his own, as John Blackstone will show us.
For 40 years, Eric Clapton has been a rock and roll legend. But even legends have their heroes. And for Clapton, they don't come any bigger than guitarist and songwriter J.J. Cales. Eric Clapton teams up with an old friend to make a new album later on Sunday morning.
From time to time, we update a story to tell you what's happened since. This morning, our Steve Hartman will do that, sad to say.
Well, that scares me.
She did what she loved, a maverick woman in a most dangerous profession.
Ladies and gentlemen, sit down, strap in and hold on. It's showtime in the land of dreams.
She used to always tell me to go for it. And I think that's one of the big things, and it's something I'm always going to remember, is go for it.
The story of a mother.
That's my mom, Miss Nancy Lynn, in the extra 300L.
And a son, and life on the edge, later on Sunday morning.
RFK was a politician who lived his life on the edge. This morning, Rita Braber tells us all about the new film that portrays Robert F. Kennedy's last campaign. David Edelstein reviews the new James Bond movie and the new James Bond. Alan Pizzi explains why a dog's life is some life indeed in Japan. And of course, we'll be remembering our friend, Ed Bradley. First, the headlines for this Sunday morning, the 12th of November, 2006. It has been a weekend of violence in Iraq. In Baghdad today, a suicide bombing outside a police recruiting center killed more than 30 people. Last night, Sunni gunmen ambushed a convoy of minivans at a fake checkpoint south of the city. 10 Shiite passengers were killed. Several dozen were taken hostage. The United States has vetoed a UN Security Council resolution that would have condemned Israel for its military offensive in the Gaza Strip. It has been 5 years since an American Airlines jet bound for the Dominican Republic crashed in Queens, New York, killing all 260 people on board and 5 people on the ground. A memorial for the crash victims will be dedicated later today. Americans yesterday marked Veterans Day in a number of ways. A parade made its way down Fifth Avenue here in New York. President Bush laid a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknowns at Arlington National Cemetery. A week or so ago, a hapless deer in Michigan got his snout stuck in a plastic jack-o'-lantern. Rescuers tried to shoot the deer with a tranquilizer dart in order to remove it, but couldn't do that. Happily, the jack-o'-lantern has now been found on the ground, and the deer was spotted running free. Now today's weather. It will be wet across the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, and plains. The Northwest gets soaked with heavy showers. In the week ahead, expect more of the same in the Northwest. Mid-temperatures forecast for the plains in New England, and the Mid-Atlantic could get more rain. Next, comedy. it's not all for laughs. And then a march through history.
On CSI and in real life, crime is messy.
We're talking murder.
So after crime scene investigators have finished processing the evidence,
Splatter here, the luminol here.
who gets to clean it up?
There's a lot of people that just get very squirmish.
Monday at 11, a day in the life of the crime scene cleanup crew. It's a dirty job nobody really wants to do.
Blood soaks into the wall, into the carpet, into the flooring.
But it can't be done by just anybody. See why, Monday, only on Coin View 6 at 11.
Hi. Hey, so glad you could join me to go shopping today. I thought you were getting a furnace installed.
I am, but I'm having AAA Heating and Cooling handle the job. I know I can trust them.
You can trust AAA Heating and Cooling because they care about your family's comfort, well-being, and peace of mind. AAA technicians are experts in energy savings, and they have the highest technology in the industry. If you didn't think you could expect legendary quality from a heating and cooling company, call AAA Heating and Cooling.
Providing quality comfort solutions since 1961.
AAA Heating and Cooling.
Save your night for marching and mystery.
I know I can find that killer.
For soaring and suspicion.
I want to know why he's lying.
You out of your mind, Tennyson? Save your night for nature and Masterpiece Theater, only on PBS. Check pbs.org/nights for showtimes.
Welcome to Brand Source.
We carry all the major brands.
And we're the source for low prices.
Buy a beautiful new Tappan self-cleaning ceramic top range for the unheard of price of only $2.99.
And with the help from our appliance experts, you're sure to make the right choice.
So come in today. We're always open to all your questions about appliances.
In Gresham and Sandy, see Riegelman's. In Forest Grove, see Van Dyke Appliances.
Ed Tonkin here for Ron Tonkin Chevrolet, offering you a way to save time and money. Now through Monday night, save thousands during Ron Tonkin Chevrolet's giant $49 over invoice sale. Right now, you can buy new Chevrolets for just $49 over invoice. Plus, you keep all the rebates and incentives. We'll even show you the invoice. That's right, every new 06 and 07 Chevy in stock is on sale right now, just $49 over invoice. Except Corvettes, only at Ron Tonkin Chevrolet out 122nd Way.
Funny business is big business these days, which means all kinds of people are laughing all the way to the bank. Call it Comedy Incorporated. Our cover story is reported by Serena Altschul.
Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Don't you know everyone wants to laugh?
It may look like fun, but being funny can be very serious business.
You're welcome to our country, okay?
My name is Borat.
Okay, good. Well, I'm not used to that, but that's fine.
At the movies, comedy is the genre of the moment.
You want everything? You can't drink that while you're driving. It's against the law.
What?
Last weekend, the top 3 box office grossers were comedies. On television, there's a 24/7 smorgasbord of stand-up,
just us rednecks.
Where'd you hear that expression?
sitcoms, animation, and spoofs.
Freeze! Think you're funny? Who's funny now, milkshake? Huh? Turn it off now.
Same goes for so-called new media. Always keep 'em laughing.
You can even find comedy in the most unlikely places. Just flip open your cell phone and you can get a stand-up routine beamed right here onto this little screen.
Straight down to your right.
Whatever the medium, there are big bucks to be made. Last year, comic films, TV shows, and live performances generated an estimated $10 billion. Not bad for a profession that, in the words of Rodney Dangerfield, gets no respect.
Groucho Marx once said, "I would never want to be a member of a club that would have me for a member." And I think that's the way comedians feel about themselves sometimes, you know? And they're a very particular lot. And they got a chip on their shoulder. They like to be the underdog.
Doug Herzog is the president of Comedy Central, the cable channel that was once itself an underdog. A string of unexpected hits changed that.
Democrats tonight feeling
something that they haven't felt in quite some time, I believe.
The Daily Show.
And I don't know if I'll be able to pronounce this, hope.
South Park.
Is South Park Elementary about to explode from a methane gas leak? More on that later.
And blue-collar comedy have proven there's a loyal audience for laughter.
Or you ever see a healthy-looking vegetarian? They're all kind of yellow, aren't they? You're not going to recruit me. I didn't climb to the top of the food chain to eat carrots.
You know, the success of Comedy Central all comes from point of view. Jon Stewart has a very particular, distinctive point of view. Stephen Colbert does. Carlos Mencia does. Dave Chappelle does. They're authentic, and it's really, we're not looking for the guy who appeals to everybody.
Let me just say, I'm going to be so politically incorrect, you might get sued just for being in the audience.
I think that pretty much everyone responds to someone being on the edge. I think when we go to a performance or when we watch a comedy special on television, we want to see somebody go out there. We want to see somebody say something that maybe we don't quite have the nerve to say around the water cooler, but we kind of wish somebody would.
I'd like to be positive, I just don't have time. I really don't.
Stand-up comedian Kathy Griffin says there are many reasons why comedy seems to be everywhere.
People are dying for a laugh, and comedy is unbelievably cheap to produce. You know, they got me cheap. You know, I'm writing the show in that I make up everything that comes out of my mouth. I'm producing the show because it's based on my own life, and there's no writers.
Perhaps the real lesson is, when it comes to comedy, talent is the bottom line.
Is there something that sort of goes on inside of you when you see something and you're like, oh, they have it, or she's got it?
I mean, I'm pretty basic about it. I say you don't have to be a genius to see somebody who's great. I mean, when you see somebody who's extraordinary, it hits you right over the head. And if you're trying too hard, it's usually not there.
Stu Smiley is a legendary comedy impresario. As one of the producers of Everybody Loves Raymond, he helped prove that the traditional TV sitcom could still be a blockbuster.
There is like a natural process like professional baseball or professional sports where there's the first tier or the farm team or the minor leagues where people learn their craft and the pressure isn't on for the big stakes network TV show or the cable TV show. So they come up through the clubs, the improv classes or schools. But basically it's the live performance world. And it's through that world that people discover the people that can graduate to the next level.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Which is what draws students to classes like this.
Would you like to try it? I would like to try it.
An improvisation workshop at New York's Upright Citizens Brigade.
But this is your special day, Billy. This is your special day.
The basics of improv are laid out by performers like Charlie Todd.
That's all we need. Like, once we have that one unusual thing, like, that's all we need for the whole scene. Take a look at all the people who are succeeding in the comedy world today and see how many of them have roots in improv. And it is a huge percentage.
Let me into America! Let me into America! Stay in Mexico! Stay in Mexico!
Improv groups everywhere have been inspired by the trailblazing work of the Second City Comedy Group in Chicago.
A place where only the rich survive, and there's a Starbucks with another Starbucks inside.
For decades, its alumni have found their way to Saturday Night Live.
You think you could break a 20?
And beyond. Then there's the more academic approach.
Don't think about it too much, just kind of do it.
Boston's Emerson College has produced more than its share of comedians and writers. Dennis Leary, Jay Leno, and Norman Lear, to name a few.
Please welcome Alicia Yaffe.
The school has classes not just in the study of comedy, but in its performance as well.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Milk. I'm from the hood.
Still, even some Emerson alums remain skeptical.
You can't teach somebody to be funny. It's like music. I mean, you're either able to play an instrument or keep a beat and sing or not. I love to smoke, I love to smoke, I love to smoke.
Dennis Leary may be a tough judge. The comic, whose verbal onslaughts raised eyebrows in 1992's No Cure for Cancer, knows that the audience can be unforgiving.
I don't care how many laws they make. What's the law now? You can only smoke in your apartment, under a blanket with all the lights out? Is that the rule now, huh? One of the things with comedy is that you don't see if it's working, you don't see the seams.
Seamless.
And you don't feel that anybody's working too hard.
Right.
You know, if you've seen a stand-up comedian bomb, there's no worse feeling in the world. because you cringe.
And comedy, like beauty, is in the eye of the beholder.
You know, to a certain extent, it's like an enigma wrapped in a riddle, and I just know what makes me laugh. It may not make you laugh, or these guys laugh, or maybe it does. You know, it's hard.
But well worth it, because when it works, a comedian can get the laughs and something else. Respect.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Ahead, that night in Los Angeles.
Introducing the new HP Blade System C-Class with Thermalogic, Virtual Connect, and Insight Control, powered by dual-core Intel Xeon processors. Now you can contain the chaos and set IT free to drive your business.
I had a lady and her daughter come in, kind of panicked. She was from out of town visiting her grandchildren. She left her blood pressure medication at home. I said, you know, don't worry. You know, we're going to take care of you. You know, just have a seat. So we called her pharmacy back home to transfer her prescriptions for her. And then we also called her insurance company to make sure that she wouldn't have to pay any extra. You know, and it made us feel good to see her leave the pharmacy and to know that she could enjoy her daughter and her grandchildren. My name is Melvin Smith, and I'm a CVS pharmacist.
Take, take, take. That's what some cleansers do. Luckily, there's new Olay Hydrate and Cleanse. Its Olay Moisture refortifies your skin. So get a cleanser that actually gives more than it takes.
This is Mark Knopfler and Emmylou Harris. Real live road running. Live DVD plus CD. Two great artists. One great performance. Mark Knopfler and Emmylou Harris. Real live road running. In stores November 14th.
And now a page from our Sunday morning almanac. November 12th, 1864, 142 years ago today. Day one of a long and still contentious Civil War journey. For it was on that day that Major General William Tecumseh Sherman left Kingston, Georgia, and headed south to Atlanta, the key Confederate city his Union troops had occupied 2 months before. From there, Sherman and his army set off on a march through Georgia, with the idea, as Sherman put it, that the utter destruction of its roads, houses, and people will cripple their military resources. Sherman's army began by setting Atlanta on fire, memorably portrayed in the movie Gone with the Wind. From Atlanta, Sherman's army marched 300 miles to Savannah, seizing provisions from farms and homes, while destroying railroads, factories, and other buildings, smashing things to the sea, in Sherman's words. In a congratulatory message to Sherman, President Lincoln recalled his early doubts about the march, but added, "Now, the undertaking being a success, the honor is all yours." But to this day, historians and Americans, both North and South, debate just how much honor was involved in Sherman's march. It was he who put it best: war is hell. Hot off the presses, a gourmet turkey. Just ahead.
Get out of here!
What are you doing up?
I couldn't sleep, Mom.
This new Triaminic nighttime cold and cough syrup will help get rid of your cough.
Really?
And that'll help give you a better night's sleep. Now, sweetie, what were you thinking if that farmer caught you?
I was trying to count sheep.
Triaminic, the medicine of motherhood.
The Philips HD Flat TV with Ambilight is the only flat TV with the power to transform a mood at the touch of a button. Simplicity is a button that transforms television.
Who's faster, Sprint mobile broadband or Singular's Edge? Sprint mobile broadband gives you the power to download 5 times faster than Singular's Edge. Work faster with Sprint mobile broadband. Get a free mobile broadband card. Visit sprint.com/mobile broadband. Sprint. Power up.
We only grow the finest beans, then they're roasted by our expert teams. Our house! Each bean is custom roasted to its peak. Our house! It's always good to the last drop. Make your house a Maxwell house!
To help make sure your mouth is at its healthiest, dentists usually check all these areas. Ordinary toothpaste only protect some of them. For the first time, there's a toothpaste, Crest Pro Health, that protects them all.
New Crest Pro Health.
60 Minutes honors the memory and talents of our friend and colleague, Ed Bradley, tonight.
We're under government orders to collect supplies.
When mercenaries come to Jericho,
We're blowing the bridge. The whole world is on the other side of that bridge.
one man will make the ultimate sacrifice.
Turn your trucks around or I blow it. If I go, you go.
A new Jericho, CBS Wednesday.
'Tis the season for talking turkey. A Thanksgiving turkey just out of the oven is a treat for all the senses, to see, to smell, to taste as well. With all the trimmings set for dinner, much like a beauty contest winner, as Martha Teichner now explains.
Miss America 2002 is Miss Oregon.
What do Miss America and the turkey on the cover of this month's Gourmet magazine have in common? Give up? They are, in a manner of speaking, both beauty contest winners.
Have you ever seen a more perfect turkey? I would like this turkey on my table.
It's the 22nd of August, moments after our friend here has been selected to be Gourmet's 2006 cover turkey. Ruth Reichel is the editor-in-chief of Gourmet.
So the turkey has to have big thighs?
Yes.
A bust?
It has to be really broad-breasted, sassy.
With 152 food magazines out there, this turkey has to be a contender in the only competition that ultimately matters. It's happening right now at newsstands. Here, America's most seductive turkeys are shamelessly wooing you.
It's supposed to first leap into your eye and then leap into your arms. I must make this Thanksgiving meal.
So if you're a food magazine, your turkey had better not be a turkey. Which is why, at Gourmet, Thanksgiving 2006 began in the summer of 2005. By Thanksgiving last year, the recipes for this year, not just the turkey, but menus for 2 complete Thanksgiving dinners, one big, one small, were being tested.
So it looks just like Thanksgiving, doesn't it?
For something like the 9th time.
That turkey is good.
Why so far ahead? The answer, it turns out, is pretty obvious.
Now is when you get pumpkins and cranberries. We cook in season. You know, now is the time when there are lots of turkeys on the market.
The trick for any magazine in the Thanksgiving dinner business is how to make it different every year.
Really is delicious.
But not too different.
You have the staples to make everybody happy, then you have 4 new dishes that people have never tried before. So
Doc Willoughby is Gourmet's executive editor.
and if we said he'd given you 22 turkey recipes, how many more do you need? It wouldn't matter because they want this year's.
We have in the past tried to veer away from a turkey and used another bird, another game bird. Disagreeable male was the response. How disagreeable? Very much along the lines of how dare you.
Longtime editor Zan Stewart is coming up on 34 Thanksgivings at Gourmet. She remembers the years when the November issue didn't have a turkey on the cover. But turkey purists need not worry. The turkey recipe will be there.
We will never not do a turkey. One of the great American traditions is the classic Thanksgiving meal.
The pumpkin pie this year, made with caramelized sugar, I can tell you from personal experience, is outstanding. So are the muffin-sized pear and almond cakes. But tasting good isn't good enough. The challenge is finding what's photogenic.
The best-looking ones I always call the Cindy Crawford, and there's always one.
And in the case of the pear and almond cakes,
Which is the Cindy Crawford? I would call this one.
which brings us back to turkeys. All the Cindy Crawford wannabes who auditioned for Gourmet's cover. Have you ever heard of a turkey shoot?
You've got a turkey. They look pretty similar every year. A turkey is a turkey.
Richard Ferretti is Gourmet's creative director.
What you do with that turkey and what you put around that turkey could make all the difference. And so that's where we play. And it's actually fun.
My turkey's going here. We came to the set with 5 turkeys. We have roasted so far 3 turkeys.
Food editor and stylist Paul Grimes was turkey wrangler-in-chief on a shoot way back in February.
It's a beauty contest. We judge their legs, we judge their wings.
Their shape.
Overall shape.
You don't really know until the camera hits it whether it's going to work or not going to work. You might have a gut instinct and it'll completely change once you see a Polaroid of it.
The test is when the Polaroid is framed in a mock-up of a gourmet cover. Is this going to be the winner?
It's good.
Wait. Another turkey shoot. Food editor and stylist Maggie Ruggiero is the turkey wrangler this time.
Heavy.
Well done.
Yum.
This is just one of the 8 turkeys she started out with.
You'd be surprised. They're like snowflakes. Whereas every snowflake is beautiful. Not every turkey is. You'll open the bag and there's somebody, that's missing a wing.
We know that this turkey, artfully arranged on an old-fashioned stove, will end up on the cover. But they didn't, not then, so they fussed.
Looks like it's from the 50s.
It does look from the 50s.
For hours.
It starts to look so fake.
With Gourmet, what you see in the magazine is exactly what came out of the oven. There's no trickery. But what do you do when a turkey that's been sitting around getting its picture taken
Do you have another one?
starts to shrivel up? For a cover turkey, wrinkles are a problem. A few seconds under the blowtorch, wrinkles gone.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, but how will it stand up
All right, so spread these out.
to all the other finalists?
This one I don't like at all.
Clearly, star quality is what it's about.
I mean, this is really what we're going for this year, which is homey but modern, right?
The decision practically makes itself.
I just don't think you're going to see this anywhere else.
Yeah, it's very beautiful, and I the shape of this turkey
And it's a good bird.
really appeals to me.
There she goes, Miss America.
Coming up, we rock on with Eric Clapton. But first, Bond is back.
What about a drink at my place?
Join the adventure.
I never expected it.
A new amazing race tonight after 60 Minutes.
We believe that by seeing you when you're healthy, we can help keep you that way. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive.
I see you sold your house. So did I. I used a friend of mine. He's a realtor. So who'd you go with?
I went with Haskins Realty. They did everything except help me pack.
Really?
My house listed for $400,000, and Haskins only charged me $4,000.
My friend charged me $30,000. I need some new friends. Haskins Realty Online has made thousands of new friends. Go online to see how much you could save at hrohomes.com/TV.
Imagine a fireplace in every room. At Lysix Fireplaces and Stoves, you can. Your options are endless. Visit Lysix today and save on all your winter energy bills all season long. Right now, you can save on fireplaces and stoves at both Lysix locations. Stay warm all winter and save money on your energy bills. Imagine the warmth at Lysix Fireplaces and Stoves.
Lysix Fireplaces and Stoves.
Ellen's Antique Roadshow, Martha Stewart and Shamar Moore. Next All New Ellen.
It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Charles Osgood.
When the newest James Bond film opens on Friday, it will feature the newest James Bond. By contrast, our review of Casino Royale begins now, and it features Edelstein, David Edelstein.
I don't know why after so many lousy James Bond pictures, I always look forward to the next. Maybe it's the overture with the rangefinder, the blood, the thrumming 007 theme. It gets me drooling like a Pavlov dog. Like most people, I bonded with Bond when he was Sean Connery, with his mixture of elegance and ruggedness, and danger. Having a license to kill was shocking in Dr. No in the 60s, when heroes only killed in self-defense.
Mr. Smith & Wesson. And you've had your 6.
After Connery decamped, Roger Moore made Bond Old Boy and Arch. Then he got heavier, and the switch from Moore to his stuntman was the campiest thing in movies. Timothy Dalton, he was peevish.
Miss Kennedy, would you get me a medium dry vodka martini?
What address?
Shaken, not stirred.
Perhaps you failed to take into account my hidden assets.
Pierce Brosnan grew on me, but never overcame the memory of TV's foppish, phony detective, Remington Steele. Now the CEOs of the Bond franchise have opted for Brosnan's opposite, for Bond as a bit of rough trade. And believe it or not, it works. Daniel Craig is an actor whose versatility is uncanny, a weasel in Road to Perdition, a brooding poet in Sylvia, an intellectual at arm's length from his life in Enduring Love, a murderer in Infamous.
I understand 00s have a very short life expectancy.
As Bond, Craig tilts his head forward like a boxer, an impression reinforced by his smashed nose and sandpaper skin. But those irradiated blue eyes make him more than a bully boy. This Bond is haunted, not housebroken, still constructing the persona. Casino Royale presses the reset button.
We wanted to question him, not to kill him.
Judi Dench is back as the scolding M, but Bond has only just been licensed to kill. The ingredients are reshuffled to catch you off guard. The villain isn't the usual wannabe world dominator, but a financier called Le Chiffre, played by the Danish Mads Mikkelsen, the clammiest actor alive, a man you never want to see across a card table.
It's 4 checks. Monsieur Le Chiffre wins.
The movie weirdly front-loads the action set pieces, then settles into something cerebral, but it never loses its romantic pulse. Craig and the luscious Ava Green have a teasing, sometimes biting rapport. Whoa, a complex relationship.
I'm Mr. Arlington Beach, professional gambler, and you're Miss Stephanie Broadchester here.
I am not.
You're going to have to trust me on this.
Oh, no, I don't.
No, it's not a design for all Bond pictures. By all means, let's have gadgets, supervillains, an oh-so-superior hero. But let's also have the joy of rediscovering Bond. Here, when he slips into a good tuxedo for the first time, you taste his glee in the tailoring. I hope Craig finds more moments like that. I want to see him in that tuxedo for years to come.
Coming up,
He has the same highlights as you.
a pet project.
The world wants what we have, and they want it cheap. Smuggler? How about soldier of fortune?
Driven by greed.
This diamond is as big as I'm thinking. We're gonna need a real buyer.
Destroyed by war.
Where's my son? Where is my son?
Bound by hope.
That diamond is the only chance he has. I'm not leaving here without it.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Connelly, Djimon Hounsou. Blood Diamond. Rated R. Starts December 8th.
I'm making Jimmy Dean. Want some?
High pressure system in the early afternoon.
We'll have a high pressure system in the early afternoon.
Sunny, high in the low 80s.
It'll be sunny, high in the low 80s.
Chance of precipitation.
Okay, chance of precipitation in the afternoon. There you go.
Wow, that was fast.
Wow, that was fast. Microwave.
No way, this came out of a microwave?
Yep. No way this came out of a microwave.
The day begins with a happy breakfast. Delicious Jimmy Dean fully cooked sausage. Fresh from the skillet, taste fast.
Disciplined investing. It's not about following the crowd. At T. Rowe Price, our independent research means we're not deceived by every market ripple, and we don't chase every fad. For each 1, 5, and 10-year period, over 70% of our mutual funds beat their Lipper average. Low-cost mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a complete prospectus or profile with investment objectives, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
My name is Sunila. I'm a scientist at GSK. Imagine the challenge of combating devastating diseases that we see every day. Diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's. Now how about a pandemic that hasn't even happened yet? That's our challenge with bird flu. And that's what's led us to researching a vaccine to help prevent people from getting it. The race is on against bird flu, and our job is to give us all a head start.
GSK. To learn more, visit gsk-birdflu.com.
The Bills battle undefeated Colts, Broncos, Raiders, Jets, Pats, Chargers, Bengals, coast-to-coast conference collisions today on CBS.
This week, it's CSI Week. Go behind the scenes of CSI Miami, CSI New York, and CSI Crime Scene Investigation on The Early Show.
On tomorrow's CBS Evening News, we investigate abuse of the elderly in Aging in the Shadows. Later in the week, big news in the treatment of heart disease. And guys think the biological clock only ticks for women? Wait till you see our special series.
By now, you've heard about Ed Bradley, the consummate correspondent, the world traveler, the larger-than-life presence in story after memorable story. But back at home, his life was surrounded by music. Jazz always drifted from his office, even when he was getting a haircut.
What time do we do studio today?
If I could sing, if I could perform.
Ed Bradley loved music. The correspondent was Ed. He called his musical alter ego Teddy.
Teddy will get up on stage and play with the Neville Brothers. Ed would never do that. Yeah, I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't play anything. I have enough sense to know, keep your day job.
In fact, one of Ed's earliest day jobs was spinning jazz records in Philadelphia. And for the past 14 years, he was the radio voice of jazz at Lincoln Center.
Duke Ellington was probably least known to the general public as a pianist.
Music found its way into his 60 Minutes life as well. He interviewed the Rolling Stones. Bono.
You said I'm available to be used, but I'm not a cheap date.
No, I'm not a cheap date.
How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned?
Even Bob Dylan. Ed said getting Dylan to talk about himself was one of the hardest things he ever did.
I'd read somewhere that you wrote Blowing in the Wind in 10 minutes. Is that right?
Probably.
Just like that?
Yeah.
Here, too, there were stories to be told. Take Ed's award-winning 1997 profile of Thomas Quasthoff. The German baritone was born with deformities after his mother took thalidomide during her pregnancy.
If you had to choose between being an able-bodied person who didn't have the ability to sing as you do and a disabled person with your marvelous talent, what would the choice?
I stay like I am.
Lena Horne's path through life has been long and at times tortured.
Ed's very favorite piece was his 1981 profile of Lena Horne, and not just because she held his hand.
Stormy weather.
At one point, she talked about the difficulty, particularly back in the 50s, to make it in a white man's world, something Ed himself was no stranger to.
Is it painful?
Sometimes. It is at the moment, I guess. I'm sorry.
But it has to bring you in the end a lot of joy.
Oh, I am happy.
You're proud of it, aren't you?
Damn right.
Ed always said it never got better than his interview with Lena Horne.
If I arrived at the pearly gates and St. Peter said, "What have you done to deserve entry?" I'd just say, "Did you see my Lena Horne story?"
Ed Bradley began his adult life as a teacher, and teach us he did.
So maybe when we get up there, we can sit you down in a chair and you can talk. No problem. That be okay?
About dignity, about doing the right thing, about loving life. We are all better for it.
It's Sweater Week at Ross. Save 40 to 60% off department store prices on every sweater in the store. The latest styles at incredible savings.
Warm wishes from Ross.
If you have mobility issues, Performance Mobility can offer you one important thing: independence. We specialize in wheelchair vans and offer a wide selection of new and used vehicles in all price ranges with over 30 in stock. More importantly, Performance Mobility specializes in freedom, an easier way to get from here to there. Automotive hand controls and lift units make a return to normal life a goal within reach. We're proud to be locally owned and operated. Visit pmobile.com or call Performance Mobility today.
In health as in life, being connected is a beautiful thing. Experience kp.org. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive.
What would you do if you had to sell 200 new Hondas by the end of the month? You'd do what Tonkin Gresham Honda's doing. We're building a state-of-the-art facility and don't want to have to take them with us, so Tonkin Gresham Honda will make any reasonable offer happen. Our $8.5 million inventory makes it easy to be driving a new Tonkin Gresham Honda, like an all-new 07 CRV 4x4 for just $199 a month. Don't wait another day to find out what others promise Tonkin Gresham Honda delivers.
Fill your home with special delights. Ross is all you need to decorate. Trim your house, take it to new heights. Ross is all you need to decorate. Light the candles, hang the stockings. Save up on when you shop at Ross. Make your home a home that invites. Ross is all you need to decorate.
Don't be nervous, Pixel. Pixel's a little nervous because she's never been on television before. However cushy the lives led by Pixel here and many other American canines, they are really underprivileged compared to the dogs of Japan. Alan Pizia sent us a postcard from Tokyo.
Whoever coined the phrase, "it's a dog's life," had obviously never been to Japan, where a new generation of dog owners have turned the advertising slogan, "Pamper your pet," into a lifestyle. While Lynn, the pedigree pug, has a bubble massage, her owner, Kyoko Yazaki, is in the next room getting her hair done. And dogs like Lynn don't come from the local pound. It took me 3 hours to make up my mind about her, Kyoko says, but many people say she looks like me. The pet industry earns $8.5 billion a year, thanks to people like Keisuke Okadome, who spend hundreds of dollars a month to turn pets into fashion accessories.
He has the same highlights as you.
The question, of course, is why? Part of the answer is, as one might expect, man's best friend and all that. But dogs now outnumber children under the age of 12 in Japan, leading to speculation that they've become substitute kids. And then there is another version. A company that offers, among other things, counseling and advice to new owners claims scientific research has shown that dogs have a healing effect.
Living with pets or touching a pet can reduce your blood pressure or cholesterol and a lot of risks of cardiovascular or anything.
And in exchange for that, the owner can treat the pet to something from the Three Dog Bakery. Everything here is for dogs, all salt, fat, and sodium-free, of course. The biggest seller is birthday cakes. But to really shop, you have to go to Hanari in Omotesando, said to be one of the most expensive shopping areas in the world. It's hard to imagine something they don't sell, all for dogs. Manager Ken Ito says kimonos are popular at New Year's, but business is good all the time. And this is the latest in a chain of 100 stores. Once you've spent that kind of money, you have to show it off. Even dog owners concede they shop as much to please themselves as the dogs, although many also claim their dog is part of the family, which puts another twist on taking the dog for a walk.
How are you? Next, the lives he touched.
We need an idea for a Super Bowl commercial. Anyone? We need help.
Pitch us your idea for the best NFL Super Bowl commercial ever. Seriously. Sign up now at NFL.com/superad.
From Hallmark Hall of Fame, Candles on Bay Street, Sunday, November 26th. CBS Tonight. A 30-year-old hate crime.
Our friendship might have cost her her life.
There was so much hatred. What kind of a monster would do a thing like that?
That's what I'm here to find out. A new cold case, then.
Date of birth, January 1959. Last seen, New York City.
One FBI agent is about to become a statistic.
Missing.
Who are you? I'm with the FBI. A new Without a Trace after Amazing Race and Cold Case, CBS Tonight.
3 incomplete homework assignments. 5 movie trailers stopped midstream. 13 important phone calls missed.
When you've got dial-up, you can miss out on so much. Now, you don't have to anymore. Not when you can get high-speed Verizon Online DSL for just $21.99 a month. And you can do so much more, like click and connect to the net in an instant. Talk on the phone and surf the web at the same time on the same line. Download photos faster than ever before. Just call 1-866-684-2723. That's 1-866-684-2723 to get Verizon Online DSL for about what you've been paying for dial-up and see what you've been missing.
32 photos of grandson opened. 347 favorite disco tunes downloaded.
Phone, broadband, TV, Verizon.
The House of Hatred finale. New Dr. Phil House.
The initials RFK stand for Robert Francis Kennedy, the assassinated brother of an assassinated president, John F. Kennedy. Many remember well the passion and principle of Bobby Kennedy. A new movie tries to capture some of that on the screen. And this morning, Rita Braver takes us back.
My thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there. Thank you very much.
Of course, it wasn't on to Chicago and the Democratic Convention. The victory celebration would be the last for Robert Kennedy and his supporters.
Liberalism died with the assassination of Bobby Kennedy.
And had he prevailed, I think the world would be in a very different place today.
It was as if someone had pulled the rug out from underneath our entire generation. And I believe the generation went into free fall after that.
Senator Kennedy, welcome to the Ambassador Hotel.
Thank you very much.
Now the actor Emilio Estevez has written and directed Bobby, a new film about the day Robert Kennedy was shot. Why this movie about Bobby Kennedy?
I think that the death of Bobby Kennedy was, in many ways, the death of decency in America. It's a very important day in the history of American politics and in our history in general.
Early the morning of June 5th, 1968, at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles, Robert Kennedy was shot as he exited the ballroom through a kitchen pantry. It was moments after he claimed victory in the California Democratic presidential primary. The assassin was a 24-year-old Palestinian immigrant, Sirhan Sirhan. Kennedy died at the hospital the next day.
The next president of the United States, Senator Robert F. Kennedy.
In his film, Estevez intercuts actual pictures from that time with the stories of 22 fictional characters whom he places at the Ambassador that June day. A cross-section of America dealing with issues of prejudice and politics, of drugs and the draft.
What if Kennedy loses? We can all forget it, man. I'm 19, Jimmy. I don't want to go to Vietnam. Do you?
The cast includes too many big names to fit on one marquee, from Demi Moore and Lindsay Lohan to Heather Graham and Helen Hunt, and Emilio's own father, Martin Sheen.
She bought a painting of a can of soup last month.
A can of soup? It's an original Warhol. Do you know he was shot yesterday?
Probably by someone who sobered up and realized they paid a fortune for a picture of a can of soup.
It was Sheen who first took Emilio to the Ambassador, just 1 year after the assassination. You were how old by then?
I'm 7 years old now, and I remember holding my father's hand and walking through the lobby and walking through the embassy ballroom, and I remember my father saying, "This is where it happened. This is where the music died."
Robert F. Kennedy was his brother Jack's closest advisor, managed his presidential campaign, and became his attorney general. There was a side of Bobby that could be tough and aggressive.
What did you do then, Mr. Hoffa?
But we don't see that in the new film.
Buses are loading, gentlemen. Bobby Kennedy needs to get elected.
This is a very idealized picture.
Yes.
Of Bobby Kennedy. What we don't see is the guy who everybody talks about as the tough, ruthless, right.
Yeah.
You just didn't want to deal with that.
Well, you know, had it been a biopic, had I had the time to get into all that, this was about that day. This is about who he was on that day.
In fact, by the time of his death, Robert Kennedy had undergone a transformation.
The hard-boiled political operative of 61, say, to 64 changes. It becomes from 65 to 68 the champion of the underdog.
Douglas Brinkley is a presidential historian.
The myth of Robert Kennedy and the emotional aspect of his persona, it's the man who dared to care about the poor and the forgotten people.
We shall overcome.
Bobby Kennedy entered the other America, people of barrios, people of ghettos, and was embraced by them. And that's the Robert Kennedy that gets celebrated.
It's an important part of America, the soul of this nation.
Singer and civil rights activist Harry Belafonte helped educate Robert Kennedy to the issues facing black Americans and served as a link between Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the Kennedys.
To beat you just once, Casey. I'd like to die knowing that I've beaten you just once. That's all I pray for, Lord.
For him, being a part of this film was a chance to pay tribute to his old friend, Bobby.
For his voice to be heard as powerfully as it's heard in this film, I think is a great gift.
Belafonte and most of the other cast members were on hand when Bobby opened the AFI Film Festival earlier this month. The proverbial star-studded Hollywood premiere.
I was a little starstruck. It was overwhelming. It was very humbling. To go from where I've been the last decade, which is relative obscurity.
I need to find a job tomorrow.
Me too.
Well, Estevez was once a member of Hollywood's Brat Pack in such films as St. Elmo's Fire and The Breakfast Club. His star was fading in the late 90s.
Shut up.
Even as he branched into writing and directing.
was at a point where I was having to sort of redefine myself. I was not in a good place spiritually. I was not in a good place emotionally. I was kind of floundering. I had done one too many Mighty Ducks sequels, and Hollywood really wasn't that interested anymore in what I had to say or what I had to offer.
In 2000, he was on a photo shoot in the then shuttered Ambassador Hotel and saw where Kennedy was shot.
And it was behind these padlocked doors. They opened the doors, they opened it up, and it was like standing on hallowed ground, truly. And it just took your breath away. And the guy that
was the genesis of the idea.
That was the moment. That was the moment where I thought, why hasn't anybody made this film? Why hasn't anybody told this story?
What did you think of this pause now? Because
Estevez and Academy Award-winning editor Richard Chu were still tweaking the film 2 weeks before this Friday's opening. How much was this film made for, roughly?
Our initial budget was $5.5. It crept up.
$5.5 million.
Right. But it crept up because we'd be on the set and I'd say, so I want a shot like this, and I'd look over to the cinematographer and he'd say, and I'd say, eh? He'd say, and I'd say, eh? He'd say, yeah. And so
because it was just so expensive to light it and get the way to set,
to get the extras to fill it out.
Emilio told me that you agreed to work, as the other actors did, for very, very little money.
Just about. I married for love.
Sharon Stone, like the rest of the cast, worked for the Hollywood minimum for a chance to be a part of Bobby.
He could have had any woman he wanted, and he picked me. If you understand fame, you have to understand that you have to spend that like currency. And if you're going to spend it, you better spend it on something of value.
In fact, for just about everyone associated with it, Bobby seems to be more a labor of love than just a movie. What have you heard from the Kennedy family?
They're endorsing the movie because they believe that this is a new generation that's going to hear Bobby Kennedy's words all over again at a time when perhaps we need them more than ever.
How are you?
If Bobby Kennedy had lived, he would be almost 81 years old. His words still echo today.
This is a generous and compassionate country. That's what I want this country to stand for. Not violence, not lawlessness, not disorder, but compassion and love and peace. That's what this country should stand for, and that's what I intend to do.
Eric Clapton on Fame and Friendship, just ahead. And later, a pilot who charted her own course.
No matter where people are going, we're all going in the same direction. The future, something we're thinking about today. A good example, this ultra-clean diesel fuel we're producing in the U.S. It contains 97% less sulfur. And we can all benefit from that. I'm Chris Erickson, and I work for ExxonMobil.
Hey, it's Sleeping Beauty.
Didn't sleep a wink.
I know, we've been waiting for you. Have the chess set already?
He cheats.
Hello, Honest Abe.
Whatever.
We just haven't played for so long.
I know, I just got all this stress at work.
It's cool, it happens to a lot of people.
Really?
Absolutely. More than half of adults report experiencing some kind of insomnia at least a few nights a week.
We just want you back.
Thanks, guys.
When you can't sleep, you can't dream. That's why there's Roserum, the first and only prescription sleep aid that in clinical studies shows no potential for abuse or dependence. Take it when you need it, stop when you don't. Your doctor can explain why Roserum is so different. Don't take Roserum if you're taking Luvox, fluvoxamine, or have severe liver problems. Avoid taking it with alcohol. Don't drive or operate machinery until you know how you'll react to Roserum. Roserum may affect some hormones. Consult your doctor about how this may affect you, or if your insomnia doesn't improve. Take Roserum right before bed. Side effects may include drowsiness, fatigue, and dizziness.
Just talk to your doctor.
Today,
what happens in Finland will bring some amazing race teams joy and others tears.
I never expected it.
CBS Tonight after 60 Minutes.
Now you can see your favorite CBS shows.
Go!
on InnerTube at CBS.com.
It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Charles Osgood.
There's no mistaking the guitar work of rocker Eric Clapton, song after song, year after year. John Blackstone shows us how Clapton continues to rock on.
For 4 decades, some of the most distinctive riffs in rock music have come straight from the guitar of the man nicknamed Slowhand. Eric Clapton. His many hits, both solo and with groups like the Yardbirds, Blind Faith, and Cream, have earned Clapton 16 Grammy Awards and an unprecedented 3 places in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
How did I get here? What have I done? When will all my hopes subside? How will I know it when I don't get my buzz on?
But his long experience with fame hasn't always been happy.
Fame doesn't have any, it's dust to me. I don't think fame has any substance, so it doesn't have any interest to me. In fact, I find it I think it's quite a dangerous commodity and very destructive.
That may help explain why on his new CD, The Road to Escondido, out this week, Clapton teamed up with a man who has spent 40 years trying not to be famous. Songwriter and guitarist J.J. Cale.
When they say, well, you got to do some interviews on TV, I went, oh, I like to watch TV, but I don't want to be on it.
For the new album, Clapton had to push Cale into the spotlight.
Actually, to be honest with you, all the way along he starts to get... He was great initially, but then, so you could feel him kind of shuffling backwards out of the room all the time.
Well, they call me the breed. I keep rolling down.
Back in 1970, Cale was just a struggling songwriter out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, when Clapton, already a superstar, recorded one of Cale's songs. After Midnight became one of Clapton's biggest hits.
A buddy of mine called me up and says, well, Eric Clapton's got your tune, you got a hit on your hands. Come down and make an album to Nashville.
Oh, is that true? Isn't that funny?
And I said, an album, what is that? Because I come from the old, you make one song, right? And he said, oh, no, you got to put 10 or 12. I said, I ain't got 10 or 12 songs. That was it.
Cale was just being modest. He did have more songs, and in 1977, Clapton recorded another one, Cocaine.
I didn't really want to know about what he meant. I mean, except that at the time, I was very pro-cocaine. So then when I listened to it a little bit more, and when I got into recovery and stopped doing all the stuff, I chose to believe that it was an anti-cocaine song. And I think probably, or maybe it's ambivalent, who knows?
That became a big hit. Did that change things for you?
Money. They sent money to me. There is nothing that is wrong in wanting you to stay here with me.
Though most of Clapton's millions of fans didn't have a clue, throughout his career, Cale was a constant muse, inspiring songs like Lay Down, Sally.
Lay down, Sally, and rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to?
What makes Lay Down, Sally a J.J. Cale style?
It's a very difficult thing to describe. It's an R&B thing. What it is, I think, is he's taken elements of R&B and blues and mixed them up with country.
Had me a woman down in Tennessee. Boy, she used to love me
Free fever got me and I had to go. Never seen that woman no more.
Cale's unique blend of blues, jazz, and country is a product of his Oklahoma roots. And for Clapton, roots are what really matter.
I'm not really influenced by fashion and trend and popularity. You know, those things have no meaning for me. That's why I still prefer to listen to music from the past. And JJ somehow is very connected to that.
If you need a woman to bed with you.
So there is a distinct element of nostalgia in the songs on the road to Escondido, a nostalgia reflected in the location chosen for the album cover photo shoot. The Paramount Ranch, an Old West movie set on the grounds of a national park near Los Angeles.
We're old guys. I mean, JJ's not much, he's just a little bit older than me, so these are very, you know, accurate songs about where we are at in our own lives.
Most of the songs on the new CD are written by Cale, but there's one blues standard, Sporting Life Blues, about getting older and wiser.
I'm getting tired of hanging around. Think I will marry and settle down.
I mean, I still like to pretend that I can go around the world, you know, doing what I did 40 years ago, but it's getting hard.
In fact, at age 61, old Slowhand admits he's slowing down.
I sort of hope you were misquoted. Maybe it was a weak moment, but I read an interview from just a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody said, you said, you know, I looked at an old tape and I'm not as good as I once was.
No, that's absolutely true. I got a piece of footage from the mid-90s of me when I was just playing a blues song. I thought, what? There were some things that I was doing that I just don't even think I consciously let go of. I don't do them anymore, probably because they're too hard to do. So, I mean, I believe I can still play with the same amount of emotion and feeling and expression that I've always set out to do.
Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven?
Clapton's songs have always carried emotional weight, but perhaps none more so than Tears in Heaven.
If I saw you in heaven.
Voted Song of the Year in 1993, it was written in memory of Clapton's son Connor, who died tragically at the age of 4.
Carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven.
Clapton soldiered on, and in 2001, he married an American, Malia McInerney, and together they have 3 little girls, which is the title of a song he wrote for the new album.
Julie Rose and Ellie Mae, Sophie Bell, you came to stay.
I think my reaction to it, and when the album comes out, I would think the reaction of many people to that song is going to be, after Tears in Heaven,
yeah,
how wonderful that you have the opportunity to write that song.
Yeah, I'm a very fortunate man, very fortunate man. I've had a kind of second chance. I had to wait quite a long time. But that's all right, you know. It's proof that, you know, it can happen anytime, really.
We'll go to a party.
After 40 often troubled years as a star, Eric Clapton, it seems, has found contentment.
Beautiful lady is walking around with me.
My life has been a roller coaster, you know, it's been up and down. And I think what I've enjoyed over the last 5 years, at least, is a certain amount of continuity and a tranquil kind of life where I kind of know where I am, I know where I wake up and I know where I am. I know who I'm with, I know where I'm going, and I like the pace of it all. It's very comfortable and it feels right.
And what feels right now is making good music with an old friend.
Floating down that old river, boy, all my worries far behind.
Eat, drink, and be merry next Sunday morning.
Ordinary toothbrushes can't stand up to it.
Oral-B triumphed.